Hey, what's up and welcome to Cranberry Vintage. In today's video, I'm going to show you 7 steps to starting your seeds indoors. So, let's begin. My name is Mia, and I create videos to show you how you can create an urban homestead on less than a half-acre lot. Now, if that piques your interest and you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell and join the family. So in the last couple of videos, we went over gardening 101 when it came to seed starting. We talked about understanding the seed packet, and then I hit another topic on can you grow old seeds. Hopefully you check that out. If you have not, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link in the description below for those that missed out. Doing those 2 videos really prepared us for today's video, seed starting. I live in St. Louis, and here I usually like to start my seeds indoors. I've been doing it, this is like my second, third year doing it, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. I decided to start seeds indoors every year for a few good reasons. We have a short growing season. It's a lot cheaper than just buying the plants already established. You just get a whole bunch of different seeds to grow. Comes to starting seeds, typically you want to start before your last frost date. Now it depends on the seed. Sometimes, like with my cool weather crops, I will start around like the last day of frost or shortly after that. However, when it comes to the warmer temperature plants like tomatoes and green peppers, I usually wait till I would say about late February, mid-March. So I've already started seeds last month. What we're going to work on today is marigolds. Before we get into preparing the seeds, I want to go over some of the materials that I'm using first. So the first material that you need are seeds. In my case, I have a bunch of seeds in my plastic bin that I'm storing a lot better than I did last year. And I like to break them down by not only the type of vegetable, but also if they're indoor or outdoor. Another thing that I have are seed starting trays. The next piece we have is the seed tray. Now this is a tray that I had last year. This is the bigger tray that the seed starting tray actually goes in, and it sits in there like that. That pretty much makes it easier for you to have multiple seed cells. That's what these are called, the seed cells. You have multiple seed cells in one tray. Usually this tray comes with a lid, which is this bad boy. Mine's a little dirty, but I'm using it for example, so it don't matter. So the next material that I have is some warm water, and I have an old yogurt bowl. I don't know if it's old, a leftover yogurt bowl. And instead of buying a whole separate bowl, I decided to recycle my yogurt container, and it works out very well. And I took an old spoon that's bent up that I don't need anymore, and I use that to mix everything. Finally, we have our seed starting soil, and we have our worm castings. I use this, and this is my second year using this, so this is pretty cool. It turns out very well, and it's pretty easy to use. I have worm casting soil. Now, this is my first year using this, so we're going to be in this experiment together, but I have read so many blogs on it that recommend using it that I'm just gonna give it a try. It doesn't hurt. So I got this is pretty hefty bag. Now that we've went over all this, if you want to know where I got those, a lot of this I purchased this off of Amazon, and I have the link in the description below for pretty much everything I have except for the bent bowl, the bent spoon in the bowl. So you're gonna have to with that one. So now that we covered everything, let's go ahead and get started with seeding our marigolds. So before you get into planting your seeds, one of the first things that you need to do is read what type of seeds you have. Because as I mentioned before, you have two types of seeds. You have indoor and you have outdoor. The next thing you want to do is focus on cleaning and disinfecting your trays. What I do when it comes to disinfecting the trays and cleaning them is that I clean all my trays with warm soapy water, and once they dry, I turn around and I spray it with a half and half mix of peroxide and water. The purpose of it is to prevent any unseen bacteria that could damage your plants. The flip side of it is it's not guaranteed to be perfect. In order to prepare the soil, we're going to do a whole cup of seed starting mix, and we're going to do about a half a cup of the worm castings. So we're going to take a cup full of seed starting soil. Then we're going to do about a half a cup of worm castings. This is where the water comes in. And the reason why we have warm water, which I just took, this is my jar I designated for my garden and my houseplants. The reason why we want to do warm water is because we kind of want to sterilize the soil and dampen it before we put the seeds in there. So this is real simple. We're going to mix the water in, pour a little water in there, and we're just going to stir it up. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see that it's a little damp, which is fine. You don't want it super wet, because what's going to happen is when you put the seeds into the soil, it's going to create a mold. And that's happened to me before, where I put too much water in it and it actually started to mold around my plants. So we're just mixing it up until it clumps up. And after that, now it's ready to prepare the seed trays. So there's two ways you can put the soil into the seed cells. One, by using your spoon and just neatly or carefully putting it in the tray. Or you could do what I like to do. Take out some and put it in there. Not the most neatest way, but it's kind of fun and I have to admit somewhat therapeutic. So once you get the soil into the cells, you want to make sure that they're packed down pretty good. And to make that hole, you can simply take your finger, poke it in, or you could take a toothpick or a straw or this little tag that I had from that I used on the other ones, and you literally just gently poke it in. You don't want it to go too deep, because remember, this is only 1/4 of an inch. Asparagus seeds are not necessarily round. They're more long and slender. So we want to just put a nice amount in our hands. And I would say you want to take about 2 or 3 and put them in each hole, because we have to make sure that we put extra in there just in case we have 1 or 2 that won't germinate. Now that you have the seeds in the soil, and in this case they're kind of sticking up because they're so long, what we're going to do now is take some more soil and just lightly put it on the top. Now once you're done packing the soil in as much as possible, depending on how damp your soil is, feel free to add just a little bit of water on top just to make sure that the seed in the soil is nice and soaked. Once you do that, it's time to move it over to the lights. You get your setup, you put your seeds under there, and you let them grow and water them and watch them. So now what's awesome about this setup is it's literally a metal shelf I had downstairs. I bought the trays and I invested in these LED lights. I like them because they don't get too hot, and also you can connect them together so they all can come on at the same time. Another thing that I invested in this year is my surge protector. Now this is a unique surge protector because it not only has like 8 plugs there, but it also comes with a timer connected to it. So now that we've gotten that out the way, we have 2 more steps which I can't show you right now because it's not time to transition them. However, I still want to cover them in this video. One is the transition period, and then it's just planting them outdoors. As you grow the seeds indoors, they actually get adapted to the environment that they're in. So within your home, they're not really dealing with the elements. When it's time to transition them, that means it's time to get them used to the elements. And that starts with putting them outside for about an hour or 2, then bringing them back in the house, and you'll do that for about a week. You don't want to immediately sit them outside in the bright sun just off back, because what you're going to do is burn them. Because remember, they are not used to being outdoors. They're used to being in your house, protected under that artificial light. After your seeds have successfully transitioned outside, they should be accustomed to being in the sun, dealing with the wind, and even being out overnight. That's when it's time for you to transition them officially outdoors. Once you bring them outdoors, what you want to do is wait for a cloudy day to actually bring them out. That's like the perfect setting to get them adjusted. Once they're outside, get ready because you'll see them grow. It's just so amazing to see plants start from a seed and actually become a full-grown plant that you can eat from. So there you have it. We have covered the 7 steps to starting seeds indoors. And now that you know, grow. With that said, if you have not already, go ahead and hit that notification bell and subscribe to this channel. Also hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, which I really hope you do. You guys, please have an awesome day and stay super-tastic.